Dehydration and brain fog. First of all, what is brain fog, doctor?
Well, I think brain fog is the just the common language that we use for that confusion, that the lack of mental clarity, the inability to really think on your feet that we see when our body is low of water.
Okay, I'm gonna just question back just a little bit. Does brain fog only, just to make sure, does that only come from low water?
Well, I mean, it can come from lack of sleep. It can come from lack of nourishment. So there are other issues that can cause the same kind of brain fog. But it is actually known that if you are just even a deficit of 2% of your body water, it can be enough to impair all those functions. And it's not just thinking. Sometimes it can actually our brain controls everything in our body.
So basically what I hear then is hydration is a critical factor or an important factor in understanding, first of all, and identifying, first of all, that we have brain fog, and then based on that understanding, knowing how we can proceed forward in its elimination. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, as it relates to that, now we just did a video on dehydration and the brain. So we almost were thinking, is this really necessary? From a brain standpoint, you'd probably want to go watch that video. But what I am wanting to move forward with here is, you touched on it a little bit from your information from Google, and that is our motor skills, whether that be our fine motor skills or our more larger motor skills. Does dehydration that affects brain fog thus affect our ability to perform simple, ordinary tasks?
Yes. And so I think I was just starting to say, but our brain controls everything. It controls our movements. And so if you are not really thinking correctly, your brain's not sending the right information to your muscles and to your, to your limbs to move correctly.
Thank you for that. Now, as it relates to that, from a position of a massage therapist, how does this work together or not, shall we say? The dehydration, brain fog, to the motor skills and everything like that.
Well, when you're getting a massage, it's harder to roll over if you're dehydrated because your joints just won't let you move.
Now, again, on this side, I want to come back over here and say, is the only factor to a person being able to move or not dehydration?
Absolutely not.
Right. But it can contribute to the functionality within a massage.
Yes.
Which then can be interpreted over into the doctor's side of the life, what we do within life as a result. Is that correct?
Yes.
In fact, let me share with you a particular story that I have. In 2015, I went on a 1,600-mile bike ride. And at the very beginning of that bike ride, it was one of the hottest days in August, and it was the year that in Idaho, there was a lot of fires. The very first day, I missed taking both water bottles with me. But that's all right because my wife was right behind me. What I didn't know is that she got delayed. And I ran out of water that was in my water bottle. And I had no problem pedaling and using my body to move forward previous. But as my body began to say, hey, I've got a problem here, I'm in trouble, I began to get what was called dizzy. And started to realize, wait a minute, I've got a problem. But in that case, I really had no answer or solution. I kept pedaling, hoping that my wife would shortly be behind me. Unfortunately, she wasn't. And fortunately, as the whole thing turns out, I was able to get the water replenished. And as soon as I got the water replenished, the dizziness began going away. I was again I back to having the ability. So my motor skills came back again. Did I have brain fog? I'm not certain I would say I had brain fog, but I would absolutely say that the dehydration and had affected my motor skills. And perhaps one of the reasons I don't know whether I would say I didn't have brain fog or not is you might not have been able to identify it. In fact, is that a problem of identifying when one has brain fog?
Yes.
So, yes.
Well, I think that goes back to if you're out in the woods or surviving, hey, you don't save your water for later because you may forget you even have it because you're so dehydrated. You need to keep that water going in as fast as you got it and then go looking for other water.
Excellent, excellent. So any other thoughts here as it relates to dehydration and brain fog? Okay, well, we will see you in our next video when we talk about dehydration baby symptoms. Given that our doctor is a pediatrician, this should be an interesting video for us to have. But as it relates to this video, we have now provided dehydration and brain fog.